Welcome back to Grammar Time. This is Joscha speaking, and today we're going to be working on your grammar.
Well, hi, and nice to have you back. Well, before we actually go into today's topic, recorded speech, I'd like to make sure that you understand some of the concepts that you will need. First of all, there is the whole concept of reported speech as such. There is not one sentence usually, not one clause rather. There are two clauses. The reporting clause, that is the clause that contains something like he said, she asked, and so on and so on. And on the other hand, the reported clause. Now, we are going to talk about things such as the backshift. And the backshift is basically something that you only really need when the reporting clause, he said, she asked, and so on, is in the past tense. If the reporting clause is in the present tense, you don't usually use the backshift at all. Well, that is the most important thing for now. Remember that reporting verb and verb of speaking are basically the same. And let's just get right into it. Well, today we're gonna be talking about reported speech. As a subtitle I put, didn't I tell you that she told me that you told him already that she's told her? Well, that's not really a very intelligible sentence, but it reflects quite well what reported speech is about. So, let's go. Well, what is this about at all? Sometimes you may want to tell others what people have told you. Also, you may want to reproduce what you've read somewhere. Now, when you do so, things change. It's no longer your own words you're saying. And of course, typically you would be talking in a different place, at a different time. All of that is quite important. Now, to express this, many languages, such as Spanish, have a subjunctive mood, often the most difficult bit for foreigners to learn. English is easier once you get the trick. You just take one step back in time. We'll now see how this is done. The backshift. Well, this is a timeline. And here's what you do. You take one step back. So, Amy said, I don't understand this, becomes Amy said that she didn't understand that. The connector that, sometimes you can kick it out, you can drop it. It all depends on, well, style, really. Now, if possible, we always shift simple to simple, perfect to perfect, and continuous to, yes, continuous. So present simple becomes past simple, and past simple becomes past perfect. I know this, he said he knew this, he said he had known this. Present continuous becomes past continuous. It's raining, he said it was raining. Present perfect becomes past perfect. I've told you already, he told me already. Okay, now of course you can't go further than the past perfect. It's like the Big Bang. So if you have to backshift past perfect, you just leave it unchanged. Now, let's take a closer look. What happens to he said I like baseball? He said that he liked baseball. And he said we played baseball yesterday. He said that they played baseball the day before. The day before because, yeah, we may not actually be talking on the same day. Now what becomes of what did you have for breakfast? He asked me what I'd had for breakfast. There is no interrogative structure. No interrogative structure, because you're not asking a question, but repeating what you've been asked. If you tell me what somebody else asked you, you're not making me a question. So, did you do your homework? Becomes, he asked me if I'd done my homework. That sounds about right, doesn't it? But what about orders? Yeah, orders. You know, you can't backshift open the window, can you? Open the window has no time form. It's an imperative. Well, you don't have to. What does it say in the grammar books? Use it to infinitive. Like, tell somebody to do something. Or tell somebody not to do something. This kind of structure used for everything that can be reduced to an imperative. So, orders, do this, requests, please do this, and warnings. It's vitally important that you don't do this. Okay, let's practice. Now, before we practice, I'd like to just point out that, yes, of course you can vary the reporting verb. Ask, tell, order, warn, and so on. They're all reporting verbs for orders, requests, and warnings, and they kind of reflect what kind of a request, order, or warning it is. Now, let's have some examples. Okay, now please open the window becomes, she asked me to open the window. And don't touch it, use and tell. She told me not to touch it. Well done now. Now what about, could you help me with my homework? It's phrased as a question, but in fact it's a request, isn't it? Could you help me with my homework becomes, she asked me to help her with her homework. Sorry about that. Yes, she asked me to help her with her homework. Now, of course, there are some other changes as well, and we'll take a very, very brief look at those. You have to move things around, you know. My I is your you, or it might be he. And what's now today is then tomorrow. And here is where you are, not where they were when they were talking. And just use logic to find out how this turns to that. This is close, that is far away. Demonstratives have to change. Now, what was tomorrow in the past, in reported speech often becomes the day after, and goes on. But, well, just pay close attention to those markers. Logic will see you through. Well, so much for now. I hope it's been useful and it's explained some of the doubts you might have had. Now, I guess you will have to need to go on practicing a bit. Just go ahead and, well, that's basically it. Don't forget to be awesome, and thanks for watching.